So let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name.
All right, here we are at UCAN Studios. I'm here with my buddy Leon. Say good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, welcome to the Warriors Way. If this is your first time, please go to Spiritual Warfare Unit, like, share, and subscribe. If you know anybody that's struggling with food or clothes or baby formula or needs something with their family, please go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on Struggling, and we have over 20 different nonprofits to help you out with all kinds of family needs. Just give direct line calls to them, and they will help you out. If you're struggling with drug rehabilitation or a family member that's struggling with drug rehabilitation, please go to ucanmichigan.com, ucanmichigan.com. Now, Leon, you are from the MAID Institute, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this is your nonprofit, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And I had you on because you have a really great story, and I'm looking forward to get it. So, where did you grow up?
So I'm born and raised here in Flint, Michigan. My whole 42 years of my life on Flint's north side is where I was.
North side?
Yeah,
Where at?
Yeah, off of like the Mott and Pearson Road in Saginaw area.
Oh, all right. See, I was a
First
student
ward.
DuPont kid.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you right around the corner. You went too far. You went too far.
Yeah. So, you said you grew up here your whole life?
Yeah, 42 years of my life.
So, like brothers, sisters?
So I have two sisters and a brother.
Okay. And where do you fit in all of them?
I'm the middle child.
The bridger. How do we solve the problem from you being crazy and you getting everything you want, right?
There you go. And then I have younger twins. So my brother and sister, they actually twins.
Oh, wow.
So, that juggling act is.
Because they're buddies and you're not.
There you go. Then you got the I got an older sister, so
Oldest sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're like the oldest boy, but were.
Yeah.
But wasn't. See, that's how I was too. I had an older sister. I'm like, you're in charge, but you're not.
There you go.
You are, but you're not. Like,
see?
I understand. So there's that conflict.
Yeah.
So growing up, parents together, divorced, single?
No, I grew up in a single parent household. Mostly my adolescent years with my grandmother.
Okay.
And then as I got older, more with my mom's. Typical kid growing on Flint's north side.
Yeah.
Drug-ridden area, crime, at the
All right,
time.
hold on. We're going to get we're going to get to that. But like, were you dealing with that before 10?
I was around it. This is generation.
Like, I know it's a part of like, oh, hey John, hey Frank, I'll see you on the corner next week kind of deal.
No, actually it was it was in my family tree. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I had family members that was involved when I was very young, so I was exposed to this at a very young age.
So how do you think that affected how your brain works, man?
Oh, it definitely impacted me a lot on my decision making and why my perception of what life was about, and it helped shape a lot of my decision making at that time. Now that I'm older, though, I see I was making we were all wrong.
Well, how young were you when you said you were supposed to be that young? Like, what age are we talking about here?
Around the ages of when I really started paying attention and kind of really seeing things, about 12.
Okay.
About 12.
So what was school like? Were you like an avid student, delinquent?
Average. School was always like a place for me to get away. So I really enjoyed school. My elementary, I started off at Pearson Elementary, and then my mother transferred me and my older sister to Eisenhower Elementary, and I eventually graduated from Eisenhower. And then from there, I went to Holmes Middle School, which is now Homestead Academy, and then from there, Flint Northwestern.
All right. And were you a sports kid? Were you a nerd? What?
I
was a nerd.
I used to be real big, real fat.
Yeah.
I used to be the jokester. I dabbled and dabbled a little bit in sports, played a little basketball here and there, but I wasn't like super good. But yeah, I was more of the jokester and just around the crowd. I wasn't really so much involved in it.
Yeah, I was a sport. I was so competitive.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What was your sport?
Soccer.
Soccer? Oh,
I ended up playing 19 years, made it semi-pro. So
Word? Oh,
got a couple championships. I'll show you the rings
that
nobody cares about.
Oh man, no, it's funny you said that,
fun,
man, because I got a son too. I have a son now, and he loves soccer.
Well, if he needs pointers, man, I happily help you out.
Chess and soccer, we got two things in common.
I'm a high level nerd.
I'm learning that, man. You smart, man. I love this stuff.
I'm slow, not stupid. It'd take me a while. I'll get there, though. All right, so 10, 12, you're getting exposed to that, but school's kind of an outlet because it's less crazy there than it is home. I understand that process. And then what happens after 12?
So I'm going through, the years of being a teenager, trying to figure things out, being raised mostly by my grandmother at this time, who was like the backbone of our family. Things began to kind of escalate as I began to enter into like high school and things from the outside in my environment as well as on the inside.
So what's going on?
So,
like this, like 14, right? 13, 14?
Yeah, 13, 14. So it was, you had the gangs at that time. It's not so much as it was when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But
oddly enough.
Yeah. So, avoiding that, trying to avoid that. A lot of people my age, my peers were getting involved with that kind of activity, and just trying to navigate and stay out of that was a challenge through my middle school, going into high school. And then in high school, things really got a little more different for me. My oldest sister, she had graduated and ended up going to the Navy.
Much older was she?
So my sister is 5 years older than me.
All right. She went in the Navy. That's a good choice, I imagine.
Yeah, it was our way of getting away, escaping as well. We being born in a single-parent household, we was dealing with the challenges of not having a positive father around to coach us. So that was her outlet. But for me, then that left a void. For me, I was the oldest one there and had to kind of just step up and figure things out. But in that process, again, just growing up in that environment, you begin to adapt to what you see and what you're around and what you hear.
So what did you decide to do?
I became a hustler.
Yeah?
I'm
a hustler, baby. Sorry.
No, definitely. I made a promise to my grandmother. I would graduate high school, and I did.
Okay.
I graduated in '99.
So that's how you're making ends meet?
Yeah. Well, somewhat. After I graduated, I was wide open. I at a young age, I knew basketball. I wasn't going that route. I wasn't going to be the next Michael Jordan, LeBron James, but I looked up to the people that was outside that was seeming like to be successful, and that was street hustlers.
Right.
And as soon as I graduated, I hit that same summer. I hit the ground running and just got exposed and became addicted to that life.
And how long before the wheels came off that bus?
Oh, man. Well, I had from 99 to 2003, I had a good little run at it. I actually kind of got good, and I don't mean to say that in a braggish way, but, it was something I got kind of good at, and before you know it, I began to pass older people that I was connected to and to the point to where jealousy, envy, and those things began to become prevalent, and then you get to see the different side of the street life. It ain't so much
and it reacts to you.
Yeah.
And so you said for 4 years. So was there any negative responses that stick out as far as like?
Oh man, several. If you noticed the scar on my head,
I did on the back of your head. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been shot in my head and my back, left to die by the same people that I hustle with.
You can't just throw that out there without saying something.
Yeah.
Were you just like going from A to B? This was a hit?
No, it was actually a hit. So just bagging up a little bit when I just mentioned I kind of passed the older guys that was in the streets before me. And the jealousy and things began to come, and they end up finding out my stash and end up robbing took a lot of cocaine of drugs from me. And from that, the beef started.
Of course.
And what's scary about it, we all in the same neighborhoods. We like literally 7-8 houses away from each other.
It's like businesses fighting against each other.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Super close. That close, though, and it was scary, man. And when I realized and when I found out who stole from me, you either going to be fooled or you got to do what you got to do.
Sure.
And I was being new to this. I ain't had no older brothers. So that shoot 'em up, bang, bang stuff was new to me. But I had to learn real quick. It was like being in basic training, and unfortunately, it was against people I actually grew up from childhood.
Wow.
That stole from me. And so we beefed out, man, the shootouts people losing their lives.
How often is this going on?
This is every day because we stand on the same streets.
Right, so you're seeing each other so that's
don't
just
have no
never
choice.
going away.
And that's what drew the tension got so, things got so tense so quick because we literally blocks away from each other. So you can't avoid not seeing each other.
Right.
And, things just kind of escalated, man.
And you're
got out
how
of
old
control.
at this time?
I was
18, 19, 20?
Yeah, right, 1920. So very young, and that statistic, and think about it now, they say for African male and growing up in urban communities in Flint, it's not projected to make it about 25.
Yeah. So hold on. So they set up a hit on you and they shot you in the back of the head.
Yes, sir. So
hold on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They shot you in the back of the head and you were 19 or 20?
Yes, sir.
And how did you get to the hospital?
So where I used to do a lot of my hustling in that area of Pearson Road, Saginaw Street.
Yeah.
There's a corner store there on Ridgeway Street. And that was like everybody's store where we went to kick it. And I used to rent limos a lot and have people, women and so-called rented friends go out, party doing that life. Mm-hmm. And this particular hot sunny day, I never forget it, man. We met at my house. I was just waiting on the limos. Mm-hmm. And so we decided to go to the store. Now the tension is in the air. I got about 30 people in front of my house. They got about 30 people already down the street in front of that. And the tension is there.
Yeah.
And so we go to the corner store to get, our little drink, weed, all that kind of stuff. And so happened, man, not knowing we was being watched that close, it was a red Pontiac. I'll never forget it, like Grand Dam, 3 masked men in it. And as we pulled off into Saginaw Street to go back home, they got behind us and started shooting the car up. And as they're shooting the car up, I just felt we finna die. And where I got hit, I tried to raise back up and shoot back. And when I did that, I got hit in my head. Half my ear was taken off. I'm deaf in this ear, my left side of my ear, and got hit, grazed in the back. And so the people I was in the car with pulled in front of my house, hopped out, ran, left me. And luckily,
of course,
my mother was still in the area and some other family, and they came out, rushed out, and called the ambulance and things like that, man.
So did it lodge in your head?
It went in and out, but I still got a little fragment.
You know how lucky you are?
Yeah,
it went in and out of your head. You say that
ear.
like it was like you had a drink.
No, it's real, man. It's real. As I kind of
the bullet went in. And what was the damage?
So
like I know you're deaf, but like
Yeah.
as far as like cognitive damage.
I'm real blessed. I have a nervous twitch and a slur sometimes, so sometimes I get to twitching. But overall, I've been blessed to rehab and be at this point where I'm at today.
All right.
Man.
Before we go any further, we already got to go to our first break. Man, this is a great story. Leon, thanks for coming in. This is your first time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Taking a quick break from our podcast, I wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. You click on our episodes, and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now, back to the program.
Flyers.
All right, welcome back to the Warriors Way at UCAN Studios. We're here with my guest, Leon El-Alamin from Made Institute, and you were just telling us the catalyst of your life moving forward. So you get shot. You're with a bunch of friends. You hang out. You get shot. They took off. Awesome. Family helps you. How long was the rehab on that?
So I was in a coma for about 2 weeks, and then
any memories from that?
Actually, when I woke up, my mother and my sister was in the hospital with me. They had been there the whole time, and the nurse came in to clean the wound. Now, I didn't remember I'd been shot or anything, but when I did wake up, I tried to move and I couldn't. I didn't really have my strength. And when she came in, she went to explain it to me like, yeah, we got to get her clean. I'm like, what is you talking about? And I'm like, Mom, what's she talking about?
Yeah.
And I used to have long hair. I used to have long braids, and I had to cut some of that out. And I had this big old band on my head, like a turban or something. And so I'm feeling around, I'm like, what's going on?
For your ear?
Yeah,
in
like
your head?
yeah, just feeling around now that I'm kind of coming to
Yeah,
conscious.
yeah.
And when she took me to the bathroom to begin cleaning, she let me see it, man. I didn't think my head would grow back to where it is now because it was pushed all the way in. You can
Wow.
see like pink meat, you know. And I panicked and I just went into shock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I'm tripping, and it was just crazy, man. It was so real. And when they finally calmed me down, my mother and sister kind of explained to me what was going on. And then from there, I was in there probably for about another month.
Wow.
And then they had me going through the therapy and things like that, learning how to speak again and, those type of things.
Yeah.
And then eventually, man, what's crazy though, when I got out, I went right back to my house that's in the same neighborhood where everything.
Yeah. So what happened next?
Now at this point.
You had to be a little mad. I mean.
My heart had become hardened. So
Yeah.
I had vengeance on my mind.
Right.
It's all about get back, and it
Yep.
goes back to what we were saying earlier. When you grow up in these environments and you taught certain things, and you grow up thinking certain things have to be done a certain way.
Right.
So I'm thinking all about retaliation. I can't let nobody see you get down on me like this. So that whole time while I'm recovering and healing, I'm plotting.
Right.
I'm not trusting anyone. And then I started carrying a 45 and an AK with me everywhere I went.
I bet. Very paranoid, right?
Paranoid. But then also in that paranoia, I started using drugs. So I started ooting cocaine, popping pills to cope with, because I don't trust nobody.
Right.
So I'm trying to cope with what's going on, figure things out. And then from there, man, it just, things continue to kind of go down that path. And I continue to hustle, trying to get back after taking the loss of losing all that, the drugs and so forth. And then not too long after that, man, some more rented friends that I had. I never forget this. Man.
Rented friends.
Yeah, they
Such a
rented
great name.
They set me up, set me up with the police. And,
Outstanding.
it's crazy, man, because on one end, all I thought I could do was be a hustler.
Yeah.
And I thought that was my destiny to be a street lord and all that kind of stuff. And then when this happened, I get set up to the police.
And how old are you when this happened?
So now I'm 20.
20 and all this has happened. You
20
graduated
years
at
old.
18?
Graduated
This all
at 18.
happened in 2 years.
Yes, sir.
Holy smokes, that's
Graduated at
extraordinary.
18, between 19, almost 20, getting shot, going through that phase, get right back to hustling, get set up to the police. It was crazy because where I get set up at, they didn't get nothing but money. So I'm thinking I'm good. But this individual that I used to deal with had told him about a house I had just bought, which had a lot of other things there. And so I panicked, my family's in this. At this time, we was kind of going through some things. So we in a 3-bedroom household, and it's about 8 of us living in this house. And just to see my moms and my sister and them all laid out, handcuffed for some things that I'm doing and the stuff I brought to my family, I panicked, consented to going to this house thinking I'm going to be okay. They go to the house without a warrant, but they go to the house, they find more money, more drugs, and that's where things was like, oh, crap, now I know I'm finna end up with something.
Yeah.
And end up going to jail, man, and just was sitting there and just reflecting like my life was out of control.
And you're 20.
I'm 20 years old.
So what happens next? Like, what goes on with the case?
So we had to argue and fight to get a lot of the money back. And when we got some of our money back, my mother was able to get an attorney for me.
Yeah.
So now we fighting this case. I get bond. So now I'm just going through that. Now I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm getting in school, trying to just clean it up and thinking I'm going to be okay. They didn't have a warrant, boom, boom, boom. Judge saying he had a different plan. So when we come in, he say, we don't let you kind of hang out here long enough. Prison time would be good for you. Basically what he told me. Judge I'll never forget.
It'd be good for you.
He told me it'd be good for you, slow you down. They had painted me in the newspaper as this kind of drug kingpin type of dude. I grew up in Pearson Hood, and you know, if you're familiar with Pearson Hood Posse and all of that stuff, I originate out of that.
Okay.
And man, it was a surreal thing because I thought I was gonna go back home.
And you did not.
And the sheriffs, when I seen the sheriffs and the deputy and all them people coming in, I look back and I look at my mom's, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you know, and
Just a moment, right?
yeah, it was a serious moment, man. And the process, I got sentenced to 12 to 20 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. I sat in the county a little longer, and when I was about a week away from my birthday, which is in August 25th. Mm-hmm. And before my birthday, they shipped me out to Jackson, quarantine, started going through that process. And that was crazy for me, too. My first experience coming through the prison cell 7 block, I never forget it. Nothing but brick wall, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing some crazy stuff when I hit, you know, we coming in there. A dude hang himself, and it's an emergency count. So my experience of coming into the prison system, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Dude, hang himself.
Yeah.
From the tower.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm in the real deal place.
Yeah.
And I knew right then my life had forever changed. I had to man up and be prepared for whatever at that point.
Wow.
It was so real.
So what was that like, readjusting that? I mean, the mental frame for that. I think you're in war all the time, right?
Man.
I mean, you never, I mean, I can't imagine it's a very calm atmosphere.
Man, you know, that was going through that experience, it really humbled me. You know, because you in there with some of everything. You know, if you think you're a tough guy, somebody always better than you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it humbled me, and it made me realize that I had to change my thinking if I was going to survive this. Now, also remember, I'm still healing from the gunshot wound.
Yeah.
So I'm going through
And you're
this
deaf in the
experience,
ear.
and I'm deaf. So I'm already handicapped.
And you struggle with talking and the
Exactly.
tics and all that. And so you're misfiring and you know it.
Exactly. And
Ooh.
I gotta play this role in here though to survive.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, that was a real experience for me, man. And I sat in Jackson 7 block for about a month until they shipped you out to the main prison. Mm-hmm. And then from there I went to Macomb Correctional Facility, level 4, 22-hour lockdown, where I did most of my time, I think the first 4 years of my life. And that was another surreal experience. Even though it was more modern than Jackson, because Jackson's like the oldest prison in Michigan.
Yeah.
Macomb was more like the dorms style setting.
Okay.
But man, it was going down every day.
Oh, I bet.
And then level 4, you only get 2 hours every day outside. So out of 24 hours, you only get 2 hours to go outside.
Right.
So, you know, tension was high.
Right.
And I seen some crazy things in there, man, you know, and I just knew I had to change my thinking. I had to be prepared for whatever. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I really began to find myself, though, you know.
So what happened to get you to find yourself? I mean, just the environment and the choices, like, I didn't like this outcome, I need something different? Was it a faith thing? Was it a personal choice? Was it all of those things? None of those things?
It was a combination of those things.
Okay.
On one end, it was personal. I knew I wanted something better for myself. I just didn't know what. Mm-hmm. Then I was taking all these programs, whatever was available, just to get out of the cell. I would take whatever program to better myself.
Right.
And I eventually met some lifers, some gentlemen, man, who impressed upon me. You know, they seen something in me I didn't see in myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm slow to build relationships and friendships with people. You know, you got to meet.
Understand
people, fill them out.
Because the likelihood they're there to hose you over is higher than the likelihood they are to help, right?
Absolutely. But after and these were some from a spiritual aspect. Some Muslim brothers of mine. Mm-hmm. You know, I was going. They invited me to service at the, you know, giving me material I was reading and things, and I became curious. And as I became more curious, they invited me to service, and I heard some things that really inspired me, and I wanted to learn more about. And I eventually took my Shahada, converted to Islam. It was I loved the structure of it. It taught me discipline. It answered some things about life in me that nobody could really give me straight answers on. And then from there, I started studying and just building off of that, man. And we built a good rapport. To this day, actually, I'm still in contact with these individuals. Some we helped to get out. I'm super proud of being a part of that. And then some we're still in connection with. We're trying to, who have over 30 years now in there. We're trying to work on.
But both those answers are cool, though. Yeah. All right, so you get in there and you get faced. So how long were you in there before chess became a thing that you were like?
Like how you segue into that after whooping me earlier here on
Well,
the chess
look, man, I know, the best players are always have a past. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, man. So as I'm going through that experience of being incarcerated, after I got shipped after doing 4 years in St. Louis, Macomb, they moved me to St. Louis. Mm-hmm. And it was in St. Louis, level 4 there, I started seeing guys play chess a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I got curious, man, and I had it was like pole barns, the way they were setting it up. Mm-hmm. And so as I'm in the pole barn, I had a guy, man, he was bad. This guy was bad, white guy, man, he was bad. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I'm sitting here watching this dude play, and I'm seeing everybody in the combat play. I'm like, that's interesting. It's making you think.
Yep.
And so I got curious and slowly started learning, but I was in no way ready for those guys.
I can't even count how many people I played that have gone to county or gone to prison and come out, man. But that's always my most difficult.
Man.
You got plenty of time to think, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hopefully.
What better way to,
Pass the
time, man,
right.
is working out, reading, and playing chess.
So when you were going through prison and how long did you do?
I ended up doing 7 years on the 12 to 20 due to the drug law had just recently changed in 2003. But I had to do 2 years mandatory for the gun charge, and I did 5 on the drug charge, and keeping my nose clean in there. First parole, etc.
Yeah. So it was good time.
No good time.
No good time.
No good time.
Okay. All right, so you get out. So let's see, you did 7 years. You went at 20, so you're 27 when you get out?
27, 28, around that age group, man. And I came home in 2010. So from 2003 to 2010.
Yeah, okay.
I come home, I come back to Flint. And
all right, before you get into that story, we got to go to our next break.
Okay.
This is a great story. Thank you so much for coming out to Spiritual Warfare Unit. Please like, share, and subscribe. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Aaron with UCAN. We're out here at our 3rd annual golf outing here in the Genesee Valley Meadows. So, really good day. We have a great number of teams, great sponsorship, great people. We're hoping for a great time. The weather's good. So, we appreciate all the support we get at all of our events. It helps us fight the fight that we fight. So, thank you all. Stay the course.
A lot of fun with a good cause. This is a very good cause, and I enjoy doing it. And my sons are with me today, and we're just going to have fun. We know we're not going to win, but we're going to have fun.
Oh, today is an awesome day today. This is our 4th or 5th one here, and can't thank UCAN enough for what they do, especially on this situation where they have this outing, Mark and Debbie and all of them. It's just an amazing outing, and I couldn't think of it brings back memories, but it's a wonderful thing, and we really appreciate it.
Welcome back to UCAN Studios, the Warrior's Way, and our warrior this week is El-Alamin, and he's from the MADE, M-A-D-E Institute, and we're getting into that part of the story here, but you had just got out. Now, what month was it? You said you were 27?
Yeah, 27. It was right before my birthday. Actually,
July?
July, end of July.
Woo,
yep,
hot.
end of July.
All right, so you come home. What's that?
So I haven't seen my nieces and nephews in over 7 years.
Right.
I've been gone, and at the time they were like 12, 10, and 5.
So now they're grown.
So they teenagers,
Yeah.
and they greeted me, and they came when I came home, and you know, it was different experience. I see my niece had grew up, and I'm like, wow. And then my brothers and sisters, the twins, done grew up, but they had been seeing me and telling me things what was going on. And I knew I had at that moment. I already had been planning and put my plans together. But when I came here and we started to go through the old neighborhoods and see the damage that my old lifestyle and others had lived and it caused upon our community, I knew right then that I was coming home to do something different. And I had to be different for my nieces and nephews and for my brothers and sisters, but more importantly for myself.
Right. So you said you'd been planning this while you were still inside. What were you planning?
So I didn't know exactly what I was going to do, but I did know I wanted to contribute back to the community and give back in some kind of way. So as I come back into the community, I'm identifying things that I'm seeing in my neighborhood. I grew up in the first ward where I still reside, and I seen a lot of blight. But it wasn't just in the first ward. When I went to the east side,
Right.
you know, second, third, fourth, fifth wards, these wards and areas have been hit the hardest. Disinvestment, drugs, violence, you name it.
Yeah, we got 2,900 right now for demo, just in Flint. The whole, it's
See,
crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Right.
So I'm seeing this.
Right.
And you know, I'm just out and just being thankful to being out, trying to do the basic things, get a job, and wanted to do the right thing. And when I came home, it was a program I took advantage of at my workforce. And it taught the individuals who went through this program how to rehab homes. And that was pretty cool. And he was guaranteed a job for like at least 6 months. And so another individual that came home around the same time, we took advantage of that program. We were working for Flint Housing at the time. So when we got out there, we had a good report, and people knew us from back in the day.
Yeah.
And so they cheering us, and we had a heck of a work ethic. We ended up staying on that job for over a year.
Wow.
So they did what they could to make sure it kept us on with other people after 6 months was gone. You know, so I'm feeling good about myself. Just got me a charger. You know, I'm like, this is the lie. I just want to work.
Yeah.
You know, give me a nice lady, live my life. I'm free.
Yep.
Then things happen, you know. And
Things happen.
Things happen as always. And so the program gets shut down. It was a big scandal going on at Flint Housing at that time in Belgium or whatever. And you know who first to go.
Yeah.
Individuals who.
The workers.
The workers.
Yeah.
And so now back to the unemployment line, a couple months of that, struggling, tempted to going back to old ways. And the thing I really hold on to that really helps me get through is my faith. You know, my spirituality, you know, I recall I was this close, man, a day away from making a call to touch that bag again because I was struggling, and I'm in debt with the car,
Right.
and everything. And God willing, man, this is all Allah. We say Allah or God, the universe. You know, I got a call. I had been putting in some applications, and I finally got a call. And this was late in the evening when I was like almost about to give up.
Yeah.
And I got a call, man, and I got a job opportunity. And from there, I just kept building, Wasn't the best, but it gave me a chance
Got
to.
you through. Let you flow.
Yeah, let me flow.
Yeah.
And then that job, but actually that job didn't last so long. So it's back to square one. And I'm like, I'm struggling because I'm like, I can't I can't be stable.
Right.
And I never forget, actually, this building that we in, INN, there was a big conference here called Healing Flint. Dr. Shaw, who's a good friend of mine, was hosting this conference, and it was a big fundraiser. And it was over 200, 300 people was here, and they were doing this big fundraiser. And, man, they had raised a lot of money doing that fundraiser, about $1 million. And I was like, wow, I was impressed. And I'm like, wow. And I asked someone, I said, what they're going to do with the money? And they had said it was for helping folks in Syria. It was a big thing going on at that time and some other things. And so I kind of challenged the room, you know, and I gave a real example of what was going on in North Flint, east side of Flint. And I knew a lot of these individuals are professionals, had doctors and offices and things in these places, which is cool. You providing a service, but what are you doing to give back?
Right.
And that was kind of my challenge. And from there, I had opportunity to build with Dr. Shaw and some other individuals and express my vision. And he's a hell of a man. He gave me and the gentleman I came home with, Brother Tim, an opportunity here. And he gave us a job, man. And from there, working that job and learning something new, I knew still, though, I had to give back. It was my passion and heart was on the north side helping.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 42.
No, not this moment. Like in the time of the story, we like in your early 30s, late 20s.
Yeah, just early 30s.
Okay.
So I'm in my early 30s.
So you were really having a switch job to job.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so what were you doing at that fundraiser to get in front of those people in the first place?
So it was being I wanted to be connected with the Islamic community, being Muslim. So I would go to all the masjids, and I started going to Flint Islamic Center and some of the ones that's more like where our immigrants, just to stay connected and meet people, and hopefully maybe, who knows, somebody may have a job or something.
Yeah.
And so I was invited to that event, and I was just impressed, and I loved the unity and things that I was seeing.
Yeah.
But I knew I had something that people needed to hear, and when I had began to talk and have those personal conversations, things from there just kind of began to build for us. And
Because your idea makes sense.
yeah,
makes sense.
And Dr. Shaw and a few others, man, who I'm just thankful. So he's a good man, good brother. He's always giving back, creating opportunities for people, and I'm always indebted, man. I really respect him a lot, and he didn't have to, but from there, man, he like took me up on his wing, like I was his little younger brother, and we talked about multiple things, but the thing that I was really glued to him on was on business. He's a successful businessman, so I was picking his brain on how businesses and things operate, and then I'm sharing my vision and idea. And then from there, man, he actually gave us an opportunity in the building here. We had we started a program here in this office in IIN on the other side there, and it's called the 3 R's at the time: Refine, Reform, Rebuild. And that was our introduction into the nonprofit side of things and business. That was short-lived because it was just a bunch of young folks trying to do something, but we really didn't have the experience and didn't really know exactly what we wanted to do. And a lot of the younger folks that started with us kind of faded off.
Yeah.
But myself and Tim, we stuck with it. And I was like, I can't let this go. And the thing that it was focused on was working with people coming out of prison, jail. Right. I knew how to relate to folks that been through things like myself.
Yeah, and that's a skill, man.
Yeah.
Like you almost need to be an interpreter, because it's like they got checked out of life for 5, 10, 15, 20, and you got to catch up, like cell phones, internet.
Absolutely.
Like they don't.
No, you're right.
Like
right.
they have no idea what you're talking about, right?
Facebook was different.
Right.
I didn't even know what Facebook was.
Right.
So I'm leaning.
It's like you
on
went
my
into the
brothers and
future.
sisters. Yeah. I'm leaning on like Facebook. What is Facebook? I'm like, so all these things were new to me, and adjusting to how technology and things were expanding and our city and the world was changing. Yeah. And so just to fast forward a little bit after that was short-lived, but I was like, I got to stick with this.
Yeah.
And so
you and Tim stuck with it?
Stuck with it. 2015, I said, well, we...
So how long, when you say stuck with it, how long are you talking there? Is that 2-3 years? Because that's what it sounds like.
So, yeah, it was 2 years.
So it's lean.
Yeah. It was like 2013, we dissolved 3 R's. In 2015, Made Institute was birthed. And
so why the change?
We just, because we had started going into the community, but when certain individuals that was originally with us quit and went their own way on things, we just wanted a fresh start.
I got you.
We didn't want to hold on
and
to
you didn't want to have that baggage that would be there.
Yeah.
I got you. That makes sense. All right, so you do that. MADE, tell everybody what that stands for.
Money, Attitude, Direction, and Education. Yes, sir.
I love it so much.
Yes, sir.
I love it so much. I got to get some swag. I will throw that sweatshirt down, baby.
Man. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, no worries.
Definitely.
So when you switched over to Made Institute, how old are you now?
So 2015, I'm around 36.
Okay, so you're 36, and how do you get the word out? Like, what do you do?
Prior to that, in the midst of trying to figure out what we're gonna do, I was always a community activist. So I'm always involved. I'm showing up at city council meetings, school board meetings, county commissioner meetings, mayor addresses, you name it, things in Lansing that were going on with other groups. I'm just being involved, making sure my face is in the community. People, I had made up in my mind, you're gonna remember this face.
Right.
You know, and I had got some good advice, and God bless the dead. He just recently passed by Brian Nolan, BB. He was someone who opened the door for me when I first came home. He knew me when I was younger, and he was one of the first people I went to at Burston, just trying to figure things out where I can get resources to help. And one of the things he told me was like, you got to be involved. You know, stay involved. I don't care what it is. Be involved. Be involved. Be involved. And I took that to heart. And another gentleman also was Woodrow Stanley, who was the state rep at that time when I first came home. He introduced me to a lot of folks in the community who were doing things. And then from there, the activism kicked in. And before you know it, Flint water crisis, 2014, and that was kind of like the time of where we kind of came of age. Because we was front and center with other activists and individuals when that happened. And from there, man, we just kept evolving. People knew it, though. They knew the face. That's El-Alamin. That's El-Alamin. He's passing out water, distributing food, whatever it took. You know, I just wanted to give back. That was my way of healing myself and also healing the community.
Heal yourself by helping others, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so you do that. We got to go to our next break before we got on. We're already in there. Thank you for coming to Spiritual Warfare Unit. Like, share, and subscribe. Sit tight. We'll be right back.
I'm really impressed with the teachings that Isaac has been bringing to us, as this is all based from Proverbs.
I like it because it's simple, and it doesn't matter who you are. It's very easy to understand and apply to your life.
You know, it points out, you know, my bad parts, and you know, but it's showing me how to do the good parts. And you know, I'm trying to apply that and, you know, make a better life for myself because I'm tired of where I've been.
It's impacted a lot of the guys as they continue to talk and ask questions after the meetings, as they speak to one another regarding the meeting and the messages and the topics that are being brought up, which are down-to-earth topics of situations and things that we live with on a day-to-day basis.
He takes the Bible and he breaks it down into simple terms and where you can understand. And like I said before, sometimes a lot of churches, even the Salvation Army, sometimes we start using these big words that people don't understand, like even saying someone got saved. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when you say someone got saved? And it's accepting Jesus into your heart. So it's like words like that we use that people don't understand.
It's just very interesting how he points out, you know, the different things of, you know, the sin part, and then he comes back with the, you know, how to make it better, and he just points it out. It's there. You know, I didn't know all this stuff was in there, but now that he's pointing it out, it's like, wow, you know, I guess if you really dig into the Bible, you find these things.
This is a daily moral standards that we can live by, that the teachings are coming from. And honestly, we can take verse by verse as what he's done, and pretty much he's done the hard work for us and now laying it out so that we have an easier understanding.
There's some people who don't like to be in Bible classes, but this one seems to get their attention.
All right, welcome back to UCAN Studios on Warriors Wade podcast. Our warrior this week is Leon El-Alamin from Made Institute. His website is madeinstitute.org, simple. And so you were just getting into things start taking off as 2015, 2016. So how did it start to roll? Like, what started happening?
So from there, after we came up with a unique name, getting some advice from Dr. Shaw and a few other mentors of mine, I decided, okay, now that we have the name, we're gonna brand this name. I was just trying to expand on the activism work that we were already doing. But I began to do a lot of research, and I was also back in school at that time. And so I was doing research, and I stumbled up on some numbers about how many people was coming out of prison and jail. at any given time to Flint and Genesee County. And this particular year, I want to say was close to about 700. And
A year.
A year.
Recidivism into the community.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like, wow, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, yeah.
That's a lot of people. And then when I looked a little further and seeing how many people have felons on their record,
What's that number?
it was like, at that time, it was about 45%
45%.
that had a convicted, like a
So
felon.
like
on their record.
350 people.
350. No. I'm saying out of the general population.
Oh,
So at that time, it was about 45% in Flint and Genesee County that had a felon on their record.
out of the 460,000, 45% have felonies?
45%.
Wow.
So out of a population of 100,000,
Yeah.
that's about half your population.
Yeah.
So I was like, if that's half the population and there's no programming, there's no resources.
There's nothing for these people to get back in the community, to get a job. They do the background check and they're hosed. Right.
It's just a matter of time you're going to go back to criminal.
It's 45%?
half your population. At that time, it was like half
That's
your
like
population.
170,000 people.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. So I'm like, there's a need here.
Yeah.
There's a need. And so I focused on that population. Whether it was at-risk youth on the verge of going down that road,
Yep.
it was people coming out. I knew we had to address this, and we had to do it in a way strategic, respectful, with empathy, not as some kind of handout, and not as something we'll put something towards it 1 second and forget about it and let it fall to the waistline. No, this is something that's going to be consistently ongoing. People go to prison, jail every day, every
Because
year.
they say, oh, we got this, and this, and it's nothing.
It's
like
nothing.
most of the time, you get your little certificate, it's worth nothing when you get out, right?
It's nothing. I mean, it's good to occupy your time in there to take
Yeah,
those
it's just
programs.
not, it's not successful.
Exactly.
Right.
So I wanted to be that bridge, and that's what we began to focus on. And I never forget going to some hearings and some meetings that Ruth Mott was having in the community. That was building their strategic plan of addressing systemic things on the north and east side. So I would be at those workshops, meetings, getting information, and then just had the opportunity to do my pitch. And when I did my pitch, they liked it, and we partnered with a group out of Lansing, Michigan Crime Council and Delinquency was their name at the time, and they were like a policy advocacy group that was working with the population. And so with them, what we did was our first skilled trades program. And we ran the program with 10 individuals had just came out, had success in that. I said, okay, we got something. So now we built a momentum. But in the midst of talking to these gentlemen, you discover a lot of other things and other needs and areas. And one of those things was housing.
Yeah.
One of those needs was mental health, substance abuse, drugs. Another need was getting a job. So I'm like, it's multiple layers of things. And so the following year, we applied for an application on our own. We were successful. And we were able to get our first house on Flint's North Side.
Okay.
We got a grant for $50K at that time from Ruth Mott Foundation. And I went back, reached back to those same guys we trained. They helped us rehab the house. And we have that house right now. It was our first men's transitional house.
Nice.
I never forget, I got that house from an individual that lived in the area and held on to the home. It was blighted out, all this good stuff. And to this day, we kind of laugh about it to see where it's at now. And when I can remember telling her like what I wanted to do with the house, like I got this vision. And everybody was laughing and taking it as a joke and to see things now. And so from there, I promote and we're real big on skilled trades, construction stuff. We know we have an aging population in that. We need to get more young folks.
Yep.
And in particular, people who've been impacted by the system.
That's
we
right.
don't get too many options and chances in other
And this is a
industries.
great opportunity.
Great opportunity. Great opportunity.
Yeah, everything that we do at UCAN fits hand in glove with all the stuff that you're doing. I am so excited to be regular. The story that you have, and you came from an environment that you were supposed to fail.
Absolutely.
And you chose success. If I have to ask why, you could have gone a myriad of ways. And I get it's prison. This isn't for me. I got to change my life. Like I've heard that story thousands of times. But you did it. And what made you want to give back to the community instead of continuing to take from it? Like what made that process work in your brain?
Well, a big part of it was my spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, my grandmother. I knew in particular the first ward is the aging population, retirees from the shop and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would go to council meetings and things, I knew a lot of the BS that was being slurred in those debates and things like that. And then I knew a lot of people were faking and shaking it about what they did in the community. Now I'm in the community 24/7 and I don't see none of it.
Right.
I don't see the resources. And I don't even see these individuals unless something happening and they want to get in front of a camera.
If there's a camera there, everybody's your man,
there.
right?
Everybody's
hey, buddy.
there.
And then
exactly.
they just
exactly.
so frustrating.
And so for me, exactly.
Sorry, you hit a
you're
nerve,
right.
man.
No, you're right. Because that's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
I was getting upset, and I'm around a lot of young folks and people coming out who getting frustrated as well, trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And so when I seen that, I was like, we got to be the change that we want to see.
Yeah.
And actually, if we organize ourselves and got a little educated on the process of things, we're actually the majority. Compared to the people, the few who are running things who don't do nothing for us over here. That's about to change.
Right.
And so I know I wasn't going to win, but I recall I ran for city council, but I was strategically doing it. I wanted people to get familiar with his face.
Right.
And I was saying, I'll be back. And so that first year I ran, I got maybe 100 votes. I was super geek. That's 100 people that know me that didn't know me.
Right.
A couple years later, more experience, doing more work in the community, I ran for school board. 100 votes turned to almost 4,000 votes.
Nice.
People were paying attention,
Yeah.
seeing the work. And I said, okay, I got a little momentum. Now, I haven't ran for anything since, and May wasn't fully established neither. So imagine the resume now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just throwing that out there because, you know, I always encourage people coming through the program or young folks, you have to get involved. You can't just sit around and complain.
Right.
You have to participate. Now, you don't always have to go necessarily be the politician or the front man, but in some kind of capacity, you can do work at block clubs, community cleanups, community food drives, whatever, you know, but be involved. Let people see your face out there. Help the elders. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Do what you can, but be involved and just don't be somebody who's complaining. For me, I want to see it's about systemic change.
Right.
You know, I understand we can have these awesome programs, we can do some things, build and work on houses or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're not changing things from a policy standpoint to match with what you're doing on the ground, it's just a matter of time, it's gonna fall. So so our focus now is balancing it out. We want to hit it on this side as well as this side. And we got the momentum of the people and people seeing that it takes, you know, hitting it on both sides and it's opportunity and it's our time. Flint is, you know, it's changing. It's being rebuilt.
We're trying, man. We're trying to create groups and opportunities and workshops where nonprofits can come together and we can give them things and support what they're doing and let people know where they can get in and get help. It's just, you know, like our mantra is be the change you're looking for.
Absolutely.
You want change, be the change you're looking for. Stop waiting for somebody else to do it. Get up and get it done.
Absolutely.
And when you get up and get it done, then people are amazed that it was done.
Exactly.
It's so weird, right?
Exactly.
And you said this all happened like in 2018, right?
Yep. So,
and then the building that you've had that how long now?
So we got the building.
And where is that?
It's at 102 Flint Park Boulevard, right off of MLK, right next to the mini police station and community center right there. They have the city councilwoman, Dr. Liddell Lewis, holds a lot of events there. Big shout out to Miss Lewis. She's doing a phenomenal job in the second ward.
She sure is.
She has some awesome meetings there. All kind of community folks come through on her monthly meetings there. It's a nice look. They remodeled it. And it was just it was an eyesore. It's been sitting there. I remember when I was younger, it was a retail place. It had apartments upstairs, and it was like storefront stuff on the first floor. And I fell in love with it. I had a vision, and I'm like, imagine, and we want to get back on the north side with our main office. And so I just started talking to some folks, brainstorming, throwing stuff on the wall, and came up with Self-Made Ventures. So now as I'm more learning on the business side of things, of how things operate in businesses and so forth, this is my lane. You know, I love economics and building things. And we were able to build that report with Land Bank. We got the building about last year, and we just recently were awarded some funding that allowed us.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah,
I read
yeah.
about that. Was on. I was in the newspaper, and they did a big write up on it. Some 25 or 12 or something.
Yeah. So this was maybe January, a couple months ago. We were awarded $300K from Community Foundation of Southeast Michigan. Big shout out to them. Really appreciative for this huge grant, which has really allowed us to scale up, build our capacity, and really leverage some funds to really have deeper conversation with potential sponsors and funders on this project. It's a $2 million project. We're in conversations right now with our architect, and fundraising is a lot of where my time is right now. Just trying to raise the dollars to bring this venture to life, man.
So what is it that you're gonna? What's the venture?
So it's going to be our main office space. It's going to be a community culture hub / business incubator.
Okay.
That what we're imagining, our top is like we had to be there, but it's like 2-story type of building, and the top we're looking at doing office space and having other entities want to come in and partner to have that space.
Yeah.
First floor, creating more social enterprises, which creates jobs in that particular area. Slowly tapping into creating an ecosystem back on the north side, right in the heart of the neighborhoods where it's needed, and doing it with people who don't get those opportunities.
Right.
Because a lot of us, we may have made some mistakes, but a lot of us already have those entrepreneur skills in us. They just need to be.
That's why you're
grown.
driven to the business side of the street anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're like, well, this plus this equals this.
Exactly. Just changing up the language.
Just making it a positive.
Yeah, change the product, change the language, get a little education, get some mentorship, and it's the same thing. Go back out there and say, we know how to hustle. We've been hustling our whole lives.
Like one of my most favorite stories is about a guy who was a thief. And he's like, I ain't got no skills. I said, you can break into anything, right? He said, well, yeah. I said, dude, you got to start a security business. Because if you can break into it, you'd be like, look, you need my security, right?
Just secure it.
And that dude's got that business right now. And I love that. Like that. I love that type of, like, there's a way to do it legally and there's a way to do it safe for the community. So they're not reaping the negative benefits.
I like you said that, because you're absolutely right. A lot of us just need
They didn't even know, right?
Yeah, some encouragement.
You can't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
And I love my favorite, because being a person that's come in a car accident, had to deal with life and almost dying myself, and it's amazing the people that have gone through the most difficult things are the ones that produce an outcome of wanting helping people. Yeah. And I don't know why there's a constant between people that have gone through that, like you and I have. Yeah. And sometimes I'm not sure why. I just know I have to.
It's like surreal. Like sometimes you have to go to a surreal experience in your life. Sometimes the universe has a way of humbling us, so we can hear him speaking to us of what we should and supposed to be doing. Right. And so I want to commend you on the work that you're doing as well, because it's so needed, and you're doing a phenomenal job. Definitely.
Well, buddy, I wanted to have you on here because I just like your story, and I love what you're doing. I look forward to being a help. When we get off here, I'm going to find all the community stuff you're doing. I'm going to be hooking up with you. Definitely. And the chess game's going to be on playing this too. Well, this is already the show, man. So if this is your first time in the Spiritual Warfare Unit, Warriors Way, I want to thank you for listening. Leon, thank you for coming on, man. That was an awesome story. I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so much for coming in. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you know anyone that is struggling, that needs help with anything, please tell them to go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on struggling. And if your family's struggling with mental health, drug addiction, drug rehabilitation, please go to UCANmichigan.com. Click on struggling, punch your information in, and somebody will get a hold of you within 24 hours. We are here to help you. Thank you so much for coming in, and we will see you next time. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.